少年的追寻，多少次的叩问，乡愁是一碗水，乡愁是一杯酒，乡愁是一朵云，乡愁是一生情。年深外境又无尽，日久他乡即故乡。乡愁是一碗水，乡愁是一杯酒，乡愁是一朵云，乡愁是一生情。年深外境又无尽，日久他乡即故乡。
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am George Liu, opening MC of tonight. On behalf of Chinese Cultural Association New Zealand and the Canterbury Migrant Centre, I'd like to welcome you all to 2016's Chinese Festival New Zealand opening ceremony and the Homeland live show. It is so delightful to see leaders and friends from very diverse, multi-ethnic communities to be with us tonight. And I would like to introduce Consular General of the People's Republic of China, Christchurch, Mr. Jin Zhijian. National MP and members of Parliament of Christchurch Central, Hong Nicky Wengler. Diversity and Exclusion Advisor, Office of Ethnic Communities, Department of Internal Affairs, Mrs. Candy Zhang. Manager of the Canterbury Migrant Center, Mr. George Clark. Let's welcome Mr. Jin Zhijian. Give us a speech.
Thank you. Honorable Minister Nicky Wagner, dear Mrs. Candy Zhang and Mr. George Clark, good evening. 大家晚上好 Kia ora. It really gives me great pleasure to join you to witness the launching of the Chinese festival tonight. First of all, I would like to thank the Chinese Cultural Association for, and of course some other organizations from the Chinese communities to organize this event tonight. And also, I'm so pleased to learn that tonight we'll be joined by performers coming from the local Mali community, the Russian, Irish, Korean, Indian communities. This shows that the harmonious relationship existing between them. And also I do believe that because of this, Christchurch has become so special, so strong, and so resilient. The reason why we organize this kind of Chinese art festival is that we want to take this opportunity to share with all of you the valuable assets of the Chinese culture. As you all know, China is an ancient country with a history of more than 5,000 years. And also just now you have witnessed the colorful costumes of those people, those our friends. Actually, they represent the several Chinese nationalities. China is a country of with 56 different nationalities. Because of this, we have the cultural access, rich in content and colorful in style. So therefore, I strongly believe that with all the participants from different nationalities, and also with the contributions by the Chinese communities for this tonight's event, we could make it very successful. And thank you. I hope you have all of you could have an enjoyable evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jin. All right, let's welcome Hong Nicky Wengler and give us a speech.
Kia ora. Good evening. Ni hao. I'm delighted to be here to share with all of you this special multicultural event and Chinese festival. I bring the best wishes of the Prime Minister. I don't know if you know that he went to school here. So whenever I have to do things at this school, I have to go back and tell him about it. So I will give him lots of detail about the beautiful, colourful, singing, dancing, music that is here tonight. I think we are very fortunate to have such a multicultural community in Christchurch. I was reflecting on what Christchurch was like when I was a child. It was a very monocultural society. There were very few different ethnicities here. But now the number has increased dramatically. Back in 2006, I set up a newsletter that was called 160 Good Reasons to Live in Christchurch. And that was to celebrate the 160 different ethnicities in Christchurch. Just this year, I've had to change the title to 180 Good Reasons to Live in Christchurch, because we've had 20 new ethnicities in the last 5 years or so. So I hope you enjoy tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of colour, a lot of music, and let's share it and enjoy. Kia ora.
Thank you, Nikki. All right, let's welcome Mrs. Candy Zhang. Give us a speech.
Thank you. Kia ora koutou, Honourable Minister Nikki Wena, Your Excellency, Consul General Jin Zhijian, my old friend George Clark, haven't seen you for a while. Very nice to see you. My name is Candy Zhang. I'm the Diversity and Inclusion Advisor from the Office of Ethnic Communities, the Department of Internal Affairs. And I'm so glad to see you all tonight. Our friends, audience, volunteers, performers, leaders from very diverse cultural backgrounds to get together to celebrate Chinese festival. And I also want to say a big thank you to Mr. Robin Wong and Mr. George Liu from Chinese Cultural Association to invite me to be part of this opening ceremony for the 2016 Chinese Festival New Zealand and the Homeland Live Show. To me, this event is something very positive and a very good story to tell others about how diversity grows across sectors in New Zealand, culturally, socially, and perhaps economically. Examples like this proves that diversity brings benefits to shape and to flourish our cohesion and prosperity for our Aotearoa New Zealand, for our regions, and for our society. Just a very quick heads up about the latest data. The latest census tells us the total New Zealand population is projected to increase from 4.18 million in 2006 to almost 5 million by 2026. And the total Asian population of New Zealand is projected to grow from 400,000 in 2006 to almost double it, with 800,000 by 2026. Nowadays, as Minister Nikki Wena just mentioned, more than 180 different ethnic groups live together in New Zealand. And more than 160 heritage languages are spoken at daily level in our society. So this data tells us at least a fact that diversity is a reality in New Zealand. And not only in New Zealand, if we look at other countries like UK, America, Canada, Australia, diversity is there as well. So before we enjoy the fruits diversity brings to us, what we should do and what we should be aware. I think we should work together. We should work together to plant the seeds for diversity. We should work together to water it, to nurture it, and to cherish it for diversity. Because we know diversity is something we should all be proud of. Diversity is something which makes us unique and well connected. Diversity is something meaningful, significant, and worthy for us to work together to make it even better for our future generations. So let's enjoy the diversity tonight in the Homeland Show. And I wish you all a very restful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Candy. Now let's welcome George Clark. Give us a speech. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Consul General, Mr. Jin, Honourable Nicky Wagner, my distinguished and old friend, Candy Wu, kia ora tātou katoa. It's a great honour to be standing here to be able to welcome you tonight on behalf of the Canterbury Migrant Centre and the Chinese Cultural Association. We've been joint partners in running this program, the Homeland Show, for the last 3 years now. And I think I won't talk very long because we'll be keen to get on with the show. But I would like to thank 3 or 4 people that have been instrumental in making sure that this show takes place. And George Liu, of course, from the Chinese Cultural Association, a great thank you. Robin Wong's our director, who maintains the artistic levels and makes sure there's a high cultural input and a high artistic level in all the performances and in the backgrounds and in the staging. And he comes from, he's been coming now for 3 years, directing this show, and he comes all the way from Brisbane to help us here every year. So thank you, Robin. Wherever he is, he's out there somewhere. And the other person I'd like to thank is Jane Song. Jane Song works at the Canterbury Migrant Centre, and many of you will know Jane. She works so hard in the community, and she works so hard to make this show such a success. So thank you, Jane. Well, thank you all for coming. I think last but not least, let's thank those who put so much time into the performances. We've got so many groups performing here tonight, and I know many of them have put in many months of training. I know one group I was talking to had put in 5 months intensive training to be ready to perform tonight. So thank you all for those groups who are doing the work here to make this evening such a memorable evening. So thank you very much.
Thank you, George. All right, let's welcome Mr. Jin Zhijian. Give us announce the 2016 Chinese Festival opening.
It's my great honor to announce the opening of the Chinese Festival. Thank you.
This is the third time when Chinese Cultural Association New Zealand and the Canterbury Migrant Centre have worked in partnership to present the wonderful Homeland Show. Let us wish Homeland once again to complete success. Please welcome and join the wonderful 2016 Homeland Live Show. It's showtime.
The meaning of homeland comes from the idea that the residents of Christchurch have started to rebuild their homes with more and more confidence after the earthquake. People from different culture backgrounds are now keen to choose the beautiful Garden City again as their new homeland.